Today in review this thing, we're going to take these 3 Apex TSS turkey loads out to the range and show you what they can do. Last year we posted a video of these Apex Turkey number 9s that we compared against several other non-TSS loads. Now I know a lot of people have different ideas, different opinions about TSS versus non-TSS loads and what that means, but if you watched that video you'll see that there is a clear difference in the pattern as well as the number of kill shots out of this Apex load, especially at distances 40-60 yards. Now this year I was curious about something different. Apex has 3 different loads. So they have the Turkey, which we always shoot a number 9. They have these Ninjas, which are an 8.5 shot, and then they have the Small Town Blend, which is a mix of 7.5 and 9 shot. So me, being the researcher that I am, wondered, why are there 3 kinds? What's the difference? Is one going to be better? Do I need to switch and not use the number 9s and use something different? So we took these 3 loads out to the range and we wanted to compare pattern as well as penetration. So this is how we ran our very sophisticated test. We used a Remington 870 Express compact 20 gauge, and on it we mounted the Axion MDPR1 red dot sight. For this test, we're using the TrueLock 560 turkey choke that is rated for heavyweight TSS shells. And we wanted the test to be real life, real situation, not too controlled. So we sat on the ground with our Primos trigger stick just like we would if we were hunting. Then to test our pattern, we used our absolute favorite, these Birchwood Casey splatter targets. So we set our targets up at 20 yards, 40 yards, 60 yards. And if you watch to the end, we may have decided to take one load out to 80 yards. So make sure you watch to see that. And with the penetration test is where we got super sophisticated. If you watched our verdict patterning video, then you saw that we used something really high-tech to measure penetration. Stacks of cardboard. We stacked up 8 layers, and we mainly only did the penetration test at 60 because we figured if it would go through those layers at 60, it's going to at the closer distances also. Okay, enough about the process. Without further ado, let's check out the Apex turkey loads. Okay, first we shot the Small Town Blend at 20 yards. As you can see, that pattern is crazy tight at 20 yards. I point that out because I want you to keep in mind, if you're shooting a turkey that's really close, you may have to be making sure you're right on where you want to hit the turkey, because if it's much closer than 20, if you shoot to the left or right too far, you very well may miss. Another thing I want to point out here, and it is a slight limitation to our research project, is that you can see that the pattern is a little bit low and a little bit to the left. Now, yes, this would have been the perfect time to adjust the red dot so it would be more exact prior to shooting again. However, someone may have forgotten to bring the Allen wrench. So just keep in mind the rest of the testing is going to have patterns that aren't exactly on. So mainly just look at how condensed the patterns are and how many pellets are going to be in that kill zone whenever the red dot is adjusted properly. Okay, next we took the Turkey Ninjas out to 20 yards. Same thing, you can see this pattern is still off a little bit, but just crazy tight pattern at 20 yards. And then next we shot the Turkey 9s, which I've told you are the ones I've been shooting for a couple years now and absolutely love. Again, absolutely amazing pattern. As we zoom in, you can see very few holes outside of that Birchwood Casey target. So that just shows you how few pellets are outside of that pattern. Okay, once we had all 3 shot at 20 yards, we moved them out to 40. So let's take a look at the Small Town Blend at 40 yards. Still a super impressive pattern at 40 yards. Again, I hadn't adjusted the red dot, so you can see excellent pattern, just off a little bit. Now, we did this for all the 40-yard shots. Is a couple weeks later, we adjusted the red dot and shot again at 40 yards. Here is the video of us shooting those Small Town Blend at 40 yards with an adjusted red dot. Absolutely crazy, right? That's absolutely a dead turkey at 40 yards. Okay, let's see how the Turkey Ninjas compared at 40 yards. Even with the red dot being off, the pattern is just so good and concise that it's definitely gonna take care of what you need it to. But again, here's what it can do with a sighted in red dot. Still amazing pattern, very similar to the Small Town Blend. I never stop being impressed with what these TSS loads will do. Okay, now for the Turkey 9s at 40 yards. Still an impressive pattern, but low. If you move that pattern up, you're gonna definitely have a number of kill shots out of that. Now, for whatever reason, and it may just be because the pellets are all so much smaller, these Turkey 9s shot a little bit higher out of this gun. So what I wanted to do was take my turkey gun that is sighted in for this round perfectly and show you what that load can do at 40 yards out of a gun that's sighted in. Now you can see why that's a setup that I've been using. Definitely awesome pattern at 40 yards, no question, lots of confidence with a shot that far. Now before we go out to 60 yards, do us a big favor. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. If you really like the video and you haven't yet, please subscribe. Okay, first to go was the Small Town Blend. Here's where we looked at pattern as well as penetration. It's crazy to think that you can still get a pattern that good at 60 yards out of a 20 gauge turkey load. Then we took a look at the cardboard. As you can see here, the pellets made it all the way through all 8 layers of cardboard at 60 yards. All right, then we went a little out of order and went ahead and shot the turkey 9s at 60 yards. Remember, red dot still isn't perfect, but let's just take a look at the pattern. A little low, but crazy impressive. In penetration, just like the Small Town Blend, it made it through all 8 layers of cardboard. So at this point, we'd had no trouble getting through 8 layers of cardboard, so we wanted to spruce things up a little bit. So I just got 8 more layers of cardboard, taped those up, stacked them back to back to the first 8 layers before we shot these Turkey Ninjas. So Turkey Ninjas at 60 yards. Take a look. Absolutely crazy. If that pattern was moved up just a few inches, 60 yards, tons of kill shots, awesome pattern. And what about those 16 layers of cardboard? Crazy. Look at the back of that. You can see that there were a lot of pellets that made it through all 16 layers. Now, whenever we took it apart, we did find a few pellets that got stuck in those last couple of layers, but still, I mean, it's making it through 10, 12, 14 layers of cardboard consistently. Okay, so here's what you've been waiting for. We couldn't help ourselves. We had to see how one of the loads would do at 80 yards. So we took the Small Town Blend out to 80 yards, and we used my turkey gun because I knew that it was sighted in for these Apex loads. Let's just see what it can do at 80 yards. Pretty insane to think that at 80 yards, there's still that many kill shots with a 20 gauge turkey load. And we didn't start with new cardboard on this one, but you can see that there are significantly more pellets through the back of that cardboard than there were after shooting at 60 yards. So even at 80 yards, these pellets still made it through 8 layers of cardboard. So let's sum it up. These 3 turkey loads from Apex are absolutely amazing when it comes to pattern and penetration at 20, 40, 60, and even at 80 yards. I couldn't tell a big difference between the 3. Figure out which one that you think is going to work best for you. Get your gun sighted in for that load, and then have fun turkey hunting. Now, before we're finished, I just want to give you a few reminders. Number 1, make sure your gun is sighted in with your red dot and your choke for the load that you're going to be shooting, so there's no question when it counts that you're going to take that bird. Number 2, stay as calm as you can whenever that bird is close, because the closer it is, the more precise your shot has to be. And finally, yes, these shells are all pretty amazing, even 60 and 80 yards. But make sure you always take an ethical shot and a clean shot, and always respect the life you're trying to take. Hey, thanks for watching our Apex load comparison video. While you're here, do us a big favor, watch a whole bunch of other videos. Share this video with your friends. If you like what we do, give us a thumbs up. If you really like what we do, please subscribe and get your friends to subscribe too. And do us a big favor, follow us on Instagram and follow us on Facebook.